Today we're talking about the Godox R1. So let's do this. What's up, YouTube? I hope you all are doing well. Today we are talking about the Godox R1. Now I do want to say that I was given this to review from PurGear. If you guys remember, I did a lens review for PurGear, and basically PurGear is an online camera gear store. And so they sent me this Godox R1 to review. So with that being said, let's get into it. The way this review is going to go is very similar to my lens reviews. I'm going to break this up into 3 categories. Now, obviously this is not a lens, and so we're not going to talk about image quality. So to replace image quality, we're going to talk about the features of this light, but then we're going to get into build quality and my general thoughts. So let's start off with the features. Now there's a lot of features packed into this little light. First, I want to talk about what you receive when you buy this light. So when you buy this light, you get the light itself, you get this diffusion dome, which is magnetic. Also get a USB cable for charging. It also comes with some adhesive that you can put on the light to stick it to non-metal objects. So the buttons you have on the light are an on and off switch. You also have a button for the modes to switch between the modes, and you have 3 different modes that we'll get into in just a minute. And then you have 2 different wheels. One is controlling the brightness, and then the other is controlling the different things that are on the display. So if you're in the effects mode, you can switch between the different effects that you have. You can also press down for different options. For example, if you're in the effects menu, you can actually toggle different versions of that effect. If you're in the RGB mode, you switch from the hue to the saturation with that wheel pressed down as well. This does have 3 different modes to it. The first mode is CCT mode, and so that's basically the bicolor mode. It does go from 2500 to 8500 Kelvin, so you can go from more of a daylight balance to a tungsten balance with the light. The next mode is RGB mode. It does cover all 360 degrees of the color wheel, and so you can find any color that you need, and you can toggle between saturation and hue so that you can desaturate that color just a little bit as well. And then the last mode is the effects mode, and you have 14 different effects. While it is boasting 14 different effects, each effect has 3 options. So for example, police car, you can go into 3 different versions of a police car. Another thing is like the flash effect, which is more of a paparazzi effect. And you can toggle between 3 different paparazzi or flash effects with that too. Same thing with lightning, same thing with fireplace, same thing with candle. So all of them have the option to go with 3 different modes within that effect. So even though it boasts 14 different effects, it actually is more like 42 because each one of them has 3 options to it. So you have the CCT mode, the RGB mode, and then the effects mode. Now, if you look at Godox's website, they talk about music mode, but that's really an effect. And basically it goes to the beat of music, which is fun. I played around with it for a little bit, but that's not really what I'm using this light for. But it's a nice way to convince your family that you should probably buy this light so that when you have house parties, you can have an extra light to make it more fun. It's kind of a stretch, but hey, whatever gets you a new light, right? Along with features, and kind of can probably go with build quality as well, is you have 3 different ways to mount this light. First is the magnetic backing of the light, and that's currently my favorite. I like just sticking this on things to have it just as an accent light somewhere. So you do have a magnetic backing, and it's very strong. The other option, like I said before, with what comes in the box is by adhesive. And then it does have a 1/4 inch thread on it, so you can actually put this on a light stand. The last thing is more of a smaller feature, and that's the fact that it does charge via USB-C. So it's not a micro USB charging, and so it's going to charge a lot faster than say something like the Aperture M9 that uses a micro USB connection. So those are some of the selling features of this light. Now that being said, there's obviously some negatives to everything. And so for me, one of the negatives as far as features, it doesn't really have any app integration. I don't always like using things that operate through an app. It's more things to fail. So I like when something works really well on the device itself. And this does a great job of that. The display this has and the function buttons that this has, it is really easy to operate. So I don't feel the need to use an app, but where the app integration is a little bit of a downside is because of what the Aperture MC offers. One of the things that the Aperture MC offers, if you're not familiar with it, is a color picker in the app. So if you want to match the color of the light with, say, a brand logo, you can easily just point your phone's camera at that brand logo and use the color picker to match the color of the light with that logo. That is a really awesome feature. And I feel like that's where the biggest opportunity for this comes in, with that lack of app integration in general. Other than that, I feel like the features this thing offers is on par with the Aperture MC, and then potentially offering a little bit better build quality, which is a great segue into build quality. So the build quality of this light is actually really impressive. The body itself is an all metal body. The back of the light is all one piece. And so that's where I feel like this thing shines, is in the build quality. The buttons are not trash. The wheels are great. Everything is just quality as far as the build. And honestly, I would even say that if you had the choice between the Aperture MC and this light, I would pick this light because of the build quality. Now, something I don't like about the build is this light dome. In and of itself is really cool, but when I put it on the light, the way that the light dome is made, it has this little ridge here, and that would make you think that it's supposed to sit flush with the light, but it doesn't. And that's one thing that throws me off and is actually something that I don't like. I don't know why you just don't shave off this part of the plastic to where it is flush with the light, unless I'm just completely missing something. I feel like that's a miss. I feel like that's one of those small things they could have worked with the design just to make it that much better, is to have this light dome a little bit more flush with the actual light. So between the features and the build quality, what are my overall thoughts? My overall thoughts is this is an awesome light. It is so packed full of features. It is really easy to use. The menu is really easy to understand what's going on, especially if you don't do what I did and just start fiddling around and not read the bottom of the housing to tell you what switches do what and what buttons do what. I didn't see that at first. That would have saved me a ton of time, because I was really confused on how to do certain things. But that being said, read the housing and then use some of the buttons and switches, and it will be super easy to use. So I would definitely recommend this light for anybody that's needing an RGB light or even a bicolor light with some effects on it. This is packed with all of those features. And for $85, you're not really gonna break the bank. I've seen a lot of RGB lights that are way more expensive than that, and this is way more compact than some of those lights as well. It really is just everything you need in a really good light. So that being said, links below, check it out. So that's it for me. I hope this video shed some light on how good this little RGB light from Godox really is. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. If you're digging the overall content from the channel, consider subscribing. If you are a filmmaker and want to participate in the SD Single Space Challenge, that is still going on. I actually do have an entry today that I am super pumped on, so stay tuned for that. So if you're interested, check out this video, check out the rules, submit your entry to be featured on my channel. And as always, thank you guys for joining. Go and find your journey, go embrace life, stay safe, be happy, wash those, wrong hand. Oh my goodness, I broke my brain. Stay safe, be happy, wash those hands, and I'll see you here next time. Peace. If you're still here, thank you for staying tuned to the SD Single Space Challenge entries. Today's entry is very near and dear to my heart. The submission is from Jason Exley and the Exley family. The Exley family runs a family vlog YouTube channel. I would definitely encourage you to check out that channel. A lot of fun, just family outings. So if you're into that kind of thing, check out their channel, give them some love. But they have been a supporter of my channel since I was like subscriber number 25 or 50, somewhere in there. The Exley family just means a lot to me, and so it's really awesome to see them submit an entry for the SD Single Space Challenge. So kick back and relax, the Exley family entry into the SD Single Space Challenge. Boom. I don't know why I'm doing this. So thank you again to Jason and his family for submitting their entry. Again, you guys mean so much to me, and even though I'm not a vlog channel, you guys have really stayed true to the channel. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, go give them some love, go visit their channel, and if you're into it, subscribe to their channel. With that being said, I'm gonna go because with the current state of affairs in our world, my filming schedule is currently on a Thursday night at 9:45 p.m. And for this old geezer, it's way past bedtime. So I'm gonna go do that. And yeah, you guys be safe.